Hey there, Tamir from Fibonaccis-Traders.com here with the daily market recap video. Let's see what SPY, Q, IWM, Dow Jones, VIX, dollar index, US 10-year, SMH and MJ brought us today. SPY, tight range, inside day on the 394, 395 level, holding as support, still failing to break up and above this trend line here. This trend line helps us to identify short-term higher highs. So let's see if this 394 area will hold from resistance throughout 2022. Now support. So failing to do so, I expect this gap here will get filled, and because we know more than 80% of all gaps are getting filled throughout time, so this gap will get filled. It's a matter of time, and the sooner the better. QQQ breaking down, closing below the 286 area. 286 area is a short-term support, and if we be more accurate, we can take it here, and now we see that 285 area is the support that we are looking for, and it's holding. Here it was resistance, resistance, support, and throughout 2022. So now this one here is a short-term support, failing to hold this gap to the downside. The 280, 268 gap will get filled. So one candle at a time, use the levels and trend lines to manage risk. IWM went all the way from 163 to 190, got rejected by this major trend line. This trend line goes all the way back to November 21, August 22, and now the high of November 22. So let's see if this 183 can hold. Short-term support, failing to hold, this gap at the 178 will get filled. Dow Jones also 4-5 days just moving sideways. 335 area is holding and holding above this trend line. This trend line was a major resistance for price action since January 22, here in April, also here in August, also here beginning of November, broke up and above, and now consolidation to the sideways. Let's see if this can hold. We have this gap here to the downside, so following price and using levels and trend lines to manage risk. VIX inside day, managing to hold below the 2450 area, which is now its resistance, because it was support, resistance, support, and now resistance. Let's see VIX going back to the 2230 area. Dollar index, another important index that we should look at because it gives us a better point of view of price action. Now 4 days in a row hovering above the 106 area. This 106 now is support. It was support also in July, resistance throughout August, and now acting as support. SMH failed to hold above this trend line, and this trend line goes all the way back to January of 22, also here March, also here August 22, and now after a failed breakthrough going back below this trend line. And let's see how SMH will react throughout Thursday and Friday. We have this 211 area that needs to hold, because if we look left, it was support, resistance throughout 2022, and we have this gap here. So if the 212 fails to hold, this gap will get filled, and the sooner the better, because if this one gets filled, we can have a bounce of the 194 area and holding the lower term, the short term higher lows. MJ, another sector that we are following, we have this green trend line acting as a resistance because it was a resistance throughout time since February of 21. Always looking left, we can identify trend lines, support and resistance areas, and that way we can identify with high probability where price action will go next. So now we have 3 dojis below this trend line over the 570 area. Let's see if this 570 area will hold. It was an important support area throughout 2022. We can see June, July, August support. Also now support failing to hold. We shall see this white trend line getting retested. So I hope you find this video helpful. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And until the next video, stay safe and do good things.